So hey everybody, it's TR back with episode 6 of On the Road. Today we're leaving Birch Creek, headed back to, you guessed it, Pocatello. Yeah, I'm headed back to Pocatello to hang out with some friends. I have some friends coming in from Philadelphia that I want to spend some time with, and so I'm going to go back and spend a week on hookups. So I have two cameras that I use for the vlog, for this kind of talking heads kind of video. One of them is a new acquisition. I got it back in, I guess, January, so it's not totally new. But this is the DJI Osmo Pocket Pro, I think is what it's called. And I got this because it's a nice little grab and go, point and shoot. It's got this little gimbal mechanism on it. Shoots pretty decent video. It has its limitations. And then I also have a GoPro Hero 4, you see there, that I'm shooting on right now. Oh, also you see my fly tying mess. So the Hero 4 is my primary vlogging camera. It's the easiest one to use. I've got, multiple batteries for it. Shoots reasonably good video, but for some reason at Birch Creek it was being pretty persnickety, and it had a tendency to record video with a squeal. And I haven't quite figured out what that is yet. It ruined my, departure from Birch Creek, that I normally do on these episodes. Okay, I'm lying. I'm actually down the road, not in Pocatello, not at Birch Creek anymore. I'm actually up at my next destination recording this intro because we're going to pick this up at day 9. That happened to be one of the days that the camera did work correctly. Here we are at Birch Creek, beautiful place. I love coming up here. The weather's been extremely good. We had a couple of, breezy, windy days, but that's the way it is in eastern Idaho. The wind tends to blow here. It's blowing a little bit today, but I've got my back to the wind, so hopefully that'll help. So I'm on day 9 of my stay here at the Birch Creek Campground, and just have enjoyed myself immeasurably. Fishing right here at my front door, and I have just caught more fish than I can even shake I can't even keep track of how many fish I caught. And I've caught fish on everything I've thrown in the water, just about. Spinners. I haven't fished with a spinner for probably 5 years, but I dug my old spinning rig out and I put a little number 1 MEPS on there, number 2 MEPS, and man, I just got 3 or 4 fish here. Catching them on grasshoppers, on pale morning duns, on blue wing olives, caught fish on Adams, on elk hair caddis. The fish here feed pretty aggressively, and also this stream was stocked about 2 weeks ago with about 1,900 fish. Now we're just past the 4th of July weekend, and people will be people, I guess, and this is public land, and so you're going to find public people. But it's just shocked me how many people have driven on this road you see right here. There's a sign staked on each end of it that says the road is closed. Yesterday, a pickup and trailer drove through here. They would have had to drive by the sign right up ahead of me here to get around it and get down this road here, which has been closed. And they're not the only ones that have gone down this road since I've been here. I've gotten pictures of some of them. I couldn't grab my camera fast enough yesterday to get a picture of this idiot that was driving through here. The BLM closes these roads for a very specific reason: to stop the damage. This particular road here I've walked, and it got washed out pretty bad. I'm surprised the creek's not running in it, but I think if you look over my shoulder there, you can kind of see where the boulders have been piled up. And I think the creek kind of dammed itself up and stopped it from running in down this campground, or down through this campsite here. That didn't happen at my favorite campsite right over here. So it's been 2 years since I've been here almost. It'll be August of 2017, the last time I was here. I was here for the total solar eclipse that occurred. In fact, the campsite where I was, you see right over my shoulder there, is about 2.5 miles, 3 miles off the center line of the actual eclipse itself. So it was pretty cool, but you can see why we're back to revisit. It's changed. You can see where the creek has cut through down here. There was another campsite down where the creek has cut into this area, and it just kind of basically worked its way through. It's flowing all through there. And so the BLM has closed it to vehicular traffic. You could still go in there, and I fished it and have had a pretty good time out here. There have been some significant changes due to a rainfall event that occurred in April of 2018, and it basically pushed the creek all around. So this is my first trip back through the campground, and we're going to go out and see how it's changed and let you know it's still an amazing place. I've still caught tons of fish here. Been people here all the time, camping, fishing, riding their four-wheelers. In some ways, in cases, sort of inappropriately through closed areas and without proper headgear on children and stuff like that. But you know, it is public land, and public land draws public people. The other thing that I've noticed is that the roads out here are marked 15 miles an hour. And, you know, as a common courtesy, when you're out in boondocking like this and you're on a dirt gravel road, slow the hell down because of the dust. You don't want to get dust on your neighbors. I mean, you know, we're all out here trying to enjoy ourselves, and when you go flying down a dirt road at 40 miles an hour, you're kicking up all kinds of dust. It's going to take me a month to get rusty clean again, my RV. That's okay, you know, I'm down with that. I knew I was going to have to do some serious cleaning, but I'm not going to bother to clean too much because I'm going to be in dusty locations for the next, you know, 10 or 12 weeks still. Be courteous. Be thoughtful when you're out in a beautiful place like this, and follow the posted signs, for hell's sakes. If you're out here driving around on these roads that are closed, you're just encouraging and continuing to damage the area. And at some point, the land managers are going to have to make a decision and close an area. They're going to block it off. They're going to make it so you can't access it. So, you know, use common sense and use your brain. I will say that I'm super happy with my solar. So I've been dry camping for 30 days now. I'm 30 days into my 90-day challenge. This is going to be a no-brainer. I mean, it's not that big a challenge, really, because I've done this every summer for the last 3 or 4 years now, where I just kind of go out and I spend a lot of time out in the dry camping in areas just like this. But my solar panels and my batteries and the whole system is working great. I did have to run the generator a little bit yesterday. We had 2 pretty cloudy days, some rain. Actually, we got some snow up in these mountains here, some dusting. It melted off as soon as the sun came out. But I did have to run the generator for 2.5 hours yesterday to charge the batteries back up. I kind of got in a hole. I fell asleep on the couch. Oh, I guess it must have been night before last, or 2 nights ago now, with the stereo on, with the TV on, with the furnace turned up because it was chilly. And when I got up the next morning, I was in a hole. I didn't have, you know, I had drawn my batteries down. I was still, you know, I was down almost as low as I like to go with them. And I've kind of set an arbitrary point at 25%. When I get to 25% of capacity left, I've just decided that if it doesn't look like it's going to be a sunny day, and yesterday wasn't, I'd have never recovered yesterday. So I ran the generator. Today I totally recovered. It was no big deal, and I did, you know, and I was down around 19% before I went out and started doing some, you know, exploring, well, fishing mostly. Super happy with my solar system, my panels, my batteries, the solar charge controller, the battery monitoring system. Everything is working just perfect. Knock on wood, don't want to jinx yourself. I have recorded a new campground tour because of the changes that have happened to the campground, so be watching for that on my channel here in the near future. I'm going to wrap it up for now, and we'll catch you here in a little bit. So day 11 of our Birch Creek adventures, and today, unlike 2 years ago when I was here, I did make it up to Meadow Lake. And so I'm up here recording a campground tour. I thought I'd just do a quick check-in, kind of let you see the surroundings here. Amazing place. Been coming here for, well, I guess it's probably been at least 40 years that I can think of since I've been here camping. But when I was a kid, we used to come here all the time. My parents, the neighbor kids, the neighborhood. Our Boy Scout troop would come up here and camp. Gilmore's right to the bottom of the hill here. We'll be stopping there on our way out. Back in the day, that was a really cool place for us kids. You could go in there and go through all these old abandoned buildings and find, you know, various and sundry things. Now, of course, everything in the last 30, 35 years has been picked over. And in fact, to my surprise, the land has been subdivided, and people looks like they're building like summer homes or little getaway cabins, or hauling a trailer up there and probably calling it their summer escape. But that's kind of interesting. So I took a little side trip here to come out to the charcoal kilns. You see them over my shoulder there. There used to be 16 charcoal kilns here. Now, I haven't been here since probably the middle 1980s. And at that time, the top had caved in on all of them. And there was only these 4 remnants left. The Historical Society has come in and kind of rebuilt these last 2 kilns. But I thought, oh, we'll come out here and check it out. It's been pretty fun. It's an interesting place. It's a good way to spend a Thursday when it's hot down in the valley. I think I'm probably maybe 7,700 feet in altitude right here, something like that. But it's nice and cool up here. You can see there's a few thunderstorms building out there as well. Hopefully that'll cool it off some today, because it's supposed to be in the 90s down where we're parked at Birch Creek. Pretty intense storm coming in. It's just a little thunderstorm. It's about normal for this time of year. We had a really hot day today. It's probably up to 90 degrees or so, 92. And when we get days like that, these thunderstorms build over the mountains over there. Those are the lemhis you can see over there. And they generate these thunderstorms. Some of that looks like virga. If you don't know what virga is rain that doesn't hit the ground. It just evaporates before it hits the ground. And it is pretty dry, relative humidity wise. But that's a pretty intense little storm rolling in right now. It's got a little bit of lightning in it. So our 14th day is here. We've been here at Birch Creek for 14 days. It's time to get things packed up, which I've mostly done. And, it's just a few little odds and ends to walk through and take care of. After you've been here 14 days, you know, things get out. You got to go walk through and carefully and diligently make sure you got everything packed away properly so it's not all falling off. Especially the road in here is a little rough, so I'm going to have to, you know, well, you go slow, of course, but, you know, stuff still slides around. It's just the nature of the beast. So let's see how I did after 14 days. 21% water, so I still have about 20 gallons left. The gray tank started showing full after I took a shower a couple days ago. I've done the math, it doesn't add up. So something's wonky there. Probably the tank monitor's not working correctly. And then the black tank, I'm at 80%, so in good shape. So I've been out and I've done my trash collection. I like to leave my campsite cleaner than I found it. And so, let's see, can you see that? Yeah, that's all I found. But I will say I was at this very same location 2 years ago and picked it up then, and there was one of those like 13-gallon kitchen garbage can bags full of trash I picked up. So just a little bit of accumulation since I've been here last. So I will say that one of the hardest challenges of a 14-day boondock stint has got to be recycling and trash. I found some garbage cans just about 3-4 miles up the road. They looked like county garbage cans. They weren't marked, and so last week that's where I dumped my trash. Today I'm just going to take it with me and I'll dump it when I get to the dump station for my tanks, which will be at the South Tourist Park in Idaho Falls. Alright, so I'm just walking through, making sure everything's tied up. That's all good. Nothing can fall back there, all good. Bathroom, it's in good shape. Everything's laid down that could fall down, that's okay. I'm looking pretty good there. Let's go out and check the car and the tow bar. I also like to check my compartment doors. I've had them fly open. That's the only thing about being on a dirt road. And is the junk that kicks up, eh? Parking brake's off, it's out of gear. Steering wheel's loose. I did fish it quite a bit, caught quite a few fish in here. Man, picking them right up off those back of those riffles. Another nice one. And had pretty good time fishing. Experimented with some new camera mounts. I tried a chest mount for a couple days, fishing with the chest mount camera. The GoPro again on one of these stretchy things, you know, you put on your chest. And I didn't care for it too much, but I did like the head mount. I did go with a head mount. You got more of a, you know, focused view. If you were looking away, you know, you were looking at your fly or something like in the fishing footage that I've been shooting over the last couple of weeks. And so I think that worked out pretty good. It feels kind of goofy, and but it got good footage, I think. So we'll be at Pocatello for a week, and then we're going to be headed back north. Planning on heading up into the Henry's Lake area of Island Park. Was up here last year and the year before, as a matter of fact. This tends to be one of my summer haunts for when it gets hot, because it's nice and cool up here. And except for the backup alarm, which I can't even believe, where's that coming from? Big truck out there somewhere. Only when I'm trying to record video does the backup alarm turn on. Anyway, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, I'm going to be in Pocatello for a week, hanging out with some friends from Philly, and then headed north again, headed to the high country. I've done this the last couple summers. I guess I'm in a rut, in the groove, as my friends Dan and Jed Nevada said. I think it's living like a local, okay? In a direct response to one of your videos is I like to just live like a local. I know the area up here real well. I know where I can go fish, and it's like a second home to me. I've often thought about buying property up here, or maybe buying a little cabin and coming up and spending the summers up here permanently. So that's it for episode 6. I had a pretty good time fishing at Birch Creek. I don't have any idea how many fish I caught, but it was probably in excess of 50 or 60. You saw just on the one day where I caught 19 in episode 5, and that was over a period of about 90 minutes. Now, all things being what they are, that creek has been stocked. It's a family fishing water. You would expect the trout populations to be a little higher there because they make it a little easier to catch fish. But it was still a hell of a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting back up there in the near future. So there you go, that's episode 6. So if you like what you saw, be sure and give me that thumbs up. I always appreciate those. Be sure to subscribe and like the video if you did. But for now, it's time to go. Thanks for watching, I do appreciate it. Until we get together the next time, peace.